Nice. All right. Welcome to Neuro-Movement with PD Active. My name is Stephanie. My class, this class, Neuro-Movement, our class, because we make it together, right? Our class is a combination of Pilates work, sensory integration, using our eyes, calibrating our vestibular system, basically creating a better relationship with our body and putting better inputs into our body so that we can then have better output in your movement and your performance, we would say. This month, beginning of August, I can't believe it, beginning of August, we're going to be working on core connection. And when I say core connection, that's very vague. That's like very clickbaity. It's like, oh yeah, I want to improve my core. What does that actually mean? Core connection means a better relationship to your midline. So I'm going to say midline quite a bit. Okay. Core connection also means a relationship between the quadrants of your bodies on the diagonal axis, because the relationship between this hand and that foot has to go through my core, right? So, or like the center of my body. So doing diagonal movements is also a nice way to challenge and engage and connect to your core. So you'll hear midline connection and you'll hear cross body connection quite a bit as we go through our core month. Okay. Another thing that we're going to be working on, of course, is the convergence. We've been working that a little bit last month, but the convergence, so bringing your eyes to the center of your body, because that convergence is bringing the eyes to the center of the body and therefore the midline of your body, right? I also consider kind of backdoor entries to core connection being the bottoms of your feet or the intrinsic muscles of your feet and toes. So doing this class barefoot is going to be extra important. And then also inner thigh activation. So working those adductors, they're called your adductors. Again, it's sort of this backdoor entry to midline. Okay, think of like the inner thigh muscles pull your legs together. That's your midline connection. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you for being patient through that spiel. I think some of that background information is important, right? To understand where we're going. I'm not just this person up here spewing out exercises to do. There's a whole method behind the madness. So go ahead and start standing on your mat with your feet in parallel. And notice for yourself, we do this at the beginning of almost every class, but we're going to definitely be focusing on this at the beginning of class and checking in at the end of class. So noticing, where is your weight shift bias when you're just standing? Do you have more weight on the forefoot or more weight on your heels? You may even want to look down at your feet or even close your eyes to sense your feet a bit more to feel. Do you stand on like the metatarsal heads of your foot, or are all of your toes laying flat on the ground? Okay. I call them like dancing toes when people like have their toes kind of lifted and they're standing on the ball of the foot, or can you be fully flat footed? Okay, so all 5 toes on each side, including the pinky. That one's hard for me, I'll admit, including the pinky. So having that full foot connection down on the ground. Take notice of where you are now. Hopefully by the end of class, you'll feel even better in that posturing. Okay. We're going to shift forward and come a little bit into a heel lift. If you need to use a wall, a chair, piece of furniture, whatever, to help balance you, go ahead and use that balance and then bring your heels back down. And I want you to rock back and actually lift the balls of your feet. Okay. If you know yourself to be a stumbler, backward stumbler, make sure that you hold on to something or have a couch behind you to catch you. Okay. So we're going to roll up onto the heels and then back onto the heels. Roll up onto the heels and roll back onto the heels. Yeah, that's perfect. Or a wall behind you. Great. Just bump into the wall. Lift up and lift down. Good. So getting a sense, your brain is saying like, okay, what does it take to work the arches of my feet in order to get that heel raise, that calf raise? It's working a lot of intrinsic foot muscles. We're going to go for about 4 more of those and 3 more of those. And 2 more. Nice. And last one. Beautiful. Go ahead and just stomp yourself out. You know, I always say, have a temper tantrum, get some vibration through your leg. That vibration helps us connect a little bit further down through our feet as well. Yeah. So either seated in the chair, that's awesome. Having that temper tantrum, fantastic. For 10, 9, 8, 7, louder. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. We're going to do those calf raises again. We're going to come up onto the balls of the feet. We're lifting your heels and then lower down, lifting up and lowering down. Excellent. If you're feeling spicy and you want to level up a little bit, we're going to come up with both feet, tuck one foot behind and lower down. Okay, there's a little bit of choreography. You're just going to alternate between your two sides. So either double leg up and down or double leg up, single leg down. A little bit of choreography and brain work there to figure that one out. Yep, lift. Obviously, when you lift a foot off the ground and hook it behind, all of that responsibility goes on one foot, yeah? I like to do this one at holding on to something because it kind of takes the balance out of the equation and we can really focus on just the strengthening. We can just focus on what we need to strengthen. We're going to go 3 more of whichever version. Yep. If you're doing the single leg, make sure you finish on the side you did not start with, so you're even. And then have that temper tantrum. Marching in place, you can march around the room. Yeah. Yeah, nice tall posture there, Janet. Bring your eyes up maybe to the corners of the room. Yeah, there she is. Nice. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to do it one more time with those calf raises. Good things come in threes, right? So double leg up, double leg down. Beautiful, nice and slow. So don't let yourself slam down, right? The work is actually on the lowering. And again, if you're feeling like you want to go for that single leg version, double leg up, crossover, single leg down. Yeah. Awesome. Love it. Lots of work in our feet. Your calf muscles are a very, very important part of your circulation. So I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. So if you're feeling like you get swelling in your feet or your ankles, calf raises are really great, or even ankle circles while you're sitting in the chair. Yep. 2 or 3 more, finish on the side that you did not start with. Love it. And then march in place, have a temper tantrum. So really obnoxious marching. Make the room boom. Yeah, there you go, Jody. Nice. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. I'm just going to get closer to the camera so you can see this convergence drill. You can stay where you're at. We're just going to do your standard convergence. We've been doing this for a couple weeks, but I'm going to review it like you don't know it. So you're going to start with your finger about 1.5 feet away from your nose. We bring the finger towards your nose and your eyes follow your finger. It's going to feel like you're going cross-legged, cross-eyed. We'll get to cross-legged later in class. Cross-eyed. At one point, you may get to a point where you start to see 2 fingers. That means you've gone just a smidge too far. So your threshold is how close can your finger get to your nose without seeing double? You're going to hold it there for about 2 breaths. Maybe wiggle it forward and back just to kind of, and then pull your vision out that foot in front of you. Okay. So go ahead and work through that for a period of time. Again, working your eyeballs to the center of the face. Good. Keep going. Couple more. I just want to check on you. Yep. Watching your finger as it moves forward and back. Yeah. This is new for you. It's kind of it can be confusing. Your eyeballs might want to jump around a little bit. That's kind of the point, is to get your eyeballs to listen to your brain. Okay, one more pencil push-up. It's called pencil push-up. Excellent job. All right. Give yourself a little face wash. You can rub your eyes, kind of rinse that out. That can get a little bit overloading, right? Yeah, we've talked about this before. If that makes you queasy, nauseous, or a little bit funny, don't worry, that's relatively normal. And actually you kind of want that response as long as you have enough time, you know, a couple right here, just this restorative little bit of time to kind of lay out and bring yourself back to kind of homeostasis. All right, we're gonna just do your squats here. So you can either do them sitting back into a chair, onto the couch, or just what's called an air squat, which is exactly what it is. So we're just gonna sit our hips down and then stand back up. Good, we talked about how convergence is really nice to help us feel the centering in our squat. All right, if you're feeling like you want to have a little bit more midline connection, AKA everyone should be doing this, hands come to the center and give yourself some pressure, right? So we got midline connection with our hands, midline connection with our eyes, midline connection with our core. Love it. We should feel the tripod of your feet flat on the ground. You may feel your whole foot on the ground. Try not to have dancing toes. There we go. Let's go 5 more. 1, 2, 3. These are easy compared to last month, right? Last one. Excellent. Good. Shake out those legs. I love that, Alana. Just a little rainbow. Yeah. Sit up the shoulders. We're going to do another convergence drill. This time we're going to be skipping our eyes to something in the distance and then back to something close. So near, far, convergent. I like having my finger still as my thing that's close. Find that sweet spot that you can, your threshold. So how close can your finger get to your nose without seeing double? Okay. You're going to lock your eyes in there. And then you're going to look just beyond the tip to something 6 or 7, 10 feet away from you. So it could be something on the other side of the room, but make sure it's something very specific. It's like the light switch or that book on your bookshelf or the corner of your picture frame or something very specific. You're going to jump between that object far away to your finger close. Make sure you don't make the jump until you're actually very, like, you focused in on that object. Yeah. No one's measuring. No one knows how fast or slow you're going. It's not a competition. The idea is to get your eyes to adjust as quick as possible, but make an honest effort to have that adjustment. I was kind of doing it with my hands. I saw you doing it with me, which is fine. I'm like, what is my eyes doing? Keep going. I'm going to check in on you. Yeah. So 3 more jumps. 1, 2-ish, and 3-ish. Nice. Wash your face, put some pressure on the eyes, let yourself come back to normal, come back to your baseline. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I can't focus on my finger.
Have your finger a little further away.
Oh, I need to focus on it?
What do you mean focusing on your finger?
When I look at my finger, it's blurry.
Okay. Oh, because is it because you're not wearing glasses or because it's just blurry?
It's probably because my glasses don't correct up that close.
Yeah. Yeah. So just do your best. You can try having your finger a little bit further away.
Oh, okay.
And then you're jumping, so like you're just jumping really far and then as close as possible, but still being able to focus on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah. And I understand with the glasses, things get a little bit weird, but yeah, that's the general idea. Okay, cool. Let's go back to our squats. We're going to do another set of squats or sit to stand in and out of your chair. Okay, here we go. Find a nice solid athletic stance with your toes heavy on the mat. You're feeling that full foot connection. We're going to go hands in prayer with that midline connection here. Come down into your squat, so holding in your knees and then pressing up. Okay. Bonus points if you can keep your eyes locked on something very specific, again, in front of you that's about 10 feet away. So you're moving up and down kind of around this spot that your eyes are looking at. Okay. So ideally it's about eye level when you're standing. That way when you're in your squat, you're kind of looking up. Nice. We're going to go for about 15 seconds. Keep that pressure in your hands, that midline connection. Yeah. We're going to go for about 3 more, 2 more, and last second. Excellent. Nice job. Good work. How we doing? All right, we're going to do another kind of convergence drill, but it's a little bit different. We're going to have your left thumb a little bit off to the side, but your face is still looking forward. So look at that object that we did on the last drill. It's about 10 feet in front of you, or other side of the room. Your right hand is going to be underneath your chin so that it keeps your head still. This is an eye movement exercise, not necessarily a head exercise. Yep. You're going to look at that thing in front of you, and then your eyeballs are going to flick to your thumb that's on the left side of your body without moving your head. So I don't want to see any ponytails whipping. Okay. So eyes forward and then eyes to the left. Eyes forward, eyes to the left. And again, you can kind of push the limits a little bit by bringing your thumb closer to your like left cheekbone. And that's going to, again, that's probably going to pull your eyeballs a little bit more to the left. What I really am looking for is your right eyeball essentially coming into your nose. That's what I really care about, your right eyeball. So make sure you can still see things with your right eyeball. Yeah. One more on that side. Beautiful. Eye wash, take it out. We're going to do a little agility drill going over to the left. So make sure you have some real estate to the left side of your body. You can do this standing or sitting in the chair. You're going to step your foot out to the side and then bring yourself back to center. Okay. Still having that midline connection with your hands. That's going to help you remember, like, oh yeah, here we are. This is where the middle of my body is. It's the safest place to be. Beautiful. Have your eyes locked on that object. So your body is sort of moving in this diagonal pathway, but your eyeballs are stabilized. Your side step can be as athletic as you want it to be. Maybe it's just a little shift. Maybe it's a full lunge. Maybe you're sitting all the way down to your heel. All right, make it however you want it for today. We're going to go for about 3 more steps, 2 more steps, and last one. Nice job. We'll shake it out. We're going to do the other side. I'm mirroring you left and right, so I'm always like, what side are we on? This is your right side, your right thumb. Okay. One hand underneath for accountability. Yep. And figuring out kind of where we want that thumb. So looking straight at the far object first, and then your right thumb. Far object, right thumb. And then pulling that right thumb where it needs to be to challenge your eyeballs. And again, I'm looking most specifically about your left eyeball coming into your nose. So it shouldn't be to the side of your face because you wouldn't be able to see through your nose. That would be your right eyeball. So it's got to be a little bit kind of off the cheekbone. Keep going. I'm going to take a peek at what's going on with you. Nice. So Jodine, I would say pull your right hand out to the side a little bit. Out to the side. Yeah, so you're looking forward and then a little bit to the right. Forward and then a little bit to the right. Nice, Alana. Great job. There we go, Ellen. You're getting it. Nice job. 1 or 2 more passes and then wash your face. There we go. A little pressure on the eyeballs always feels good. Or just massaging the skin around maybe your eyebrows or your cheekbone. Yeah. All right, we're going to do that side step over to the right side, still looking forward. So you're using your peripheral vision a little bit to be like, okay, there's nothing here that I'm going to run into. Yeah. Okay. Side step or lunge out to the side and then come center. Again, midline connection with your hand. Your eyeballs are looking straight ahead. Your body is moving sort of on a diagonal pattern to that object. Yeah, you decide how athletic you want that side step to be. Beautiful. If you're sitting in a chair, you're stepping out and stepping in. Yep. Nice. Good agility. Stepping out and then pulling that leg right back in. Don't spend too much time out there. Don't spend too much time out there. Come back to your midline. Yep. We'll go for 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. Awesome. Nice job. Shake it all out. Grab water if you need to. We're going to make our way down to the ground for the floor portion of the class. So if you have your own way that you want to get to the ground, that's fine. I'm going to micromanage and have a little dictation to help you with the journey down there if you want to get creative with it, expanding your journey options. All right, we're going to do what's called a standing roll down. This is from Pilates mat practice. In a standing roll down, we're going to weight into the balls of the feet a little bit so the heels are slightly elevated. We did this a little bit in the middle at the beginning of class. You're going to feel like Michael Jackson, the Michael Jackson move, yeah? Arms are going to come up overhead and you're going to reach to the other end of your mat, still keeping the weight forward in your toes, At some point, you're going to bend your knees maybe, but bring your hands down to the ground. Okay. This is different than a forward fold in yoga because your arms are pretty far out in front of you. In yoga, this would be like you'd grab your ankles and like forward fold this way, right? In Pilates, we reach out a little bit. From here, you're going to bend your knees to come down into a little squat. You're going to sit your hips on your heels might lift, and then we're going to bring our knees down to the floor. Okay, don't get too comfortable. We're going to kind of reverse that. Tip your hips back up to your heels, pull your knees off the ground, and push your booty up towards the ceiling. You're now upside down again. Yep. Let's do that again. Bend your knees, bring your knees down to the ground. Tap them. You can take almost like a little rest. And then shift your hips back, push your booty up towards the ceiling, look between your thighs. Nice, Susan. Good. Let's do that 2 more times. Knees come down. Awesome. Press up, booty up. Turn yourself upside down. So good for your vestibular system. 1 more time. Down. You know, it's like kids, they're like upside down constantly. And up. So we're going to come down last one and we'll transition. I was going to say permanently on the floor, hopefully not permanently, but at least for the next bit. Crawl yourself into a sweet spot on your mat. Let your hips fall off to one side and swing your legs out in front of you. Yeah, swing your legs out in front of you. We're going to sit in what's called a butterfly sit. Another name for it, because y'all like the information you've told me, it's called a tailor sit, as in like a dressing tailor. I don't know why. Maybe they sit like this when they're hemming. I don't know. What's the history on that? So the soles of the feet are going to be touching one another, right? There's that midline connection. And your hands can be on the ankles here. If you feel like if this is just like a uncomfortable stretch, you're feeling your body tense up because it's so unfamiliar, or your body doesn't get in that position, grab your pillows and put your pillows underneath your knees so that your knees can just rest on those pillows. So if you feel like your inner thighs are like, oh, like holding on, give them something to rest into. Okay. Use your pillows. We've talked about that before. All right. In your tailor sits, I want you to you can use your hands or you can just use the muscles of your feet to push your big toes into one another. That's so weird. Is it weird to feel the bottoms of your feet against your bottoms of your feet? Your brain is like, your body's like making a circuit, like an electrical circuit. It's like the energy that's coming from my left leg is going into my right leg and vice versa. All right. This is a really nice kind of like energetic practice, especially if you're having discrepancies in your right and left sides, like your relationship with your right or left side is different strength or sensation. This kind of helps complete the circuit. And like, how can my left side support my right side and my right side support my left side? Yeah.
I haven't felt the bottom of my right foot for years.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. We're creating some sensory information just through the bottoms of our feet. Jody and I'll send you a link to some tools to help you with some of that sensation for your feet after class. Okay. In this position, we're just going to rock side to side And I want you to notice yourself fully weight shifting into one sit bone and then fully weight shifting into the other sit bone. And it's sort of this playful rock. There you go, Janet. I love it. Yeah. And with this sit bone rocking, it's a really nice opportunity. It's kind of massaging your hamstrings. Your hamstrings attach to your sit bones. So the muscles on the backs of your thighs, they attach to your sit bones. Oftentimes we find our hamstrings tight because we're sitting a lot, right? So it's a nice way to massage that hamstring by yourself, right? Okay, let's go 2 more. Last one. Excellent. Let's bring our hands back behind us. Our feet are still going to be sort of in this position where the soles of the feet are. Oh, that's kind of fun. Can you clap your feet? Yeah, okay, that was fun. Okay, intermission. Now we're back. We're going to slide the feet so that they go flat, and you're going to marry your knees together. So a little bit of inner thigh squeeze. We talked about midline connection. And then you're going to glide your feet, your knees apart so that the soles of the feet are here. And let's do that little clapping thing because that's fun and silly and makes us smile. And then flatten out the feet and bring your knees together. And then return back. Nice. So depending on your mobility here, you may kind of sit back on your elbows. No big deal. You're just going to go flat foot and then open knees. Okay. So a couple options, flat feet and open knees. And if you're sitting in a chair, you can still do this too, right? Squeeze the thighs together, open the knees apart. Let's go about 3 or 4 more here. And 2 more. Thigh Master 3000. Last one. Good, good. Awesome. Slide your knees all the way together. We're going to eventually land on our back. Go ahead and reach your legs out long and then roll on down. You're flat laying on your back. Oh, we're finally here. All right. Let's keep those legs long. All right, we're gonna have our elbows start out to the side and our hands on the sides of our pelvis. So like where the bony part of our pelvis is. Go ahead and bring your right knee into a tabletop position or even in toward your chest. And go ahead and hug it with one or both hands and let yourself sort of rock through. You're like, oh, what is this like to have my knee into my chest and that orientation of the thigh bone in your pelvis, your hips. Yeah. Good, good. And then slide that leg back out to where it came from. Let's bring the other leg up and give it a hug. Rocking a little bit. Nice. Yeah. And if you have a difference between the two sides, it's like they're kind of different. That's all. Everyone's got different sides. No one is symmetrical. Good. Slide that leg out to where it came from. We're going to bring your right leg into tabletop again. Grab behind your thigh. Yeah. And interlace your fingers so you have a really nice relationship there. Kind of like, again, closing the circuit. And we're going to look, bring our eyes down. Let me start over. We're going to bring our eyes down through our cheekbones. So we're looking down as if there was like a butterfly that landed on our cheekbones. And we're going to follow that lead with the eyes. We're going to knock the chin down and curl ourselves up into a trunk curl here. You can use your thigh as a little bit of a lever point, okay? Here's the deal though. If you're using your thigh and your thigh is not active, you're going to just pull your thigh to your chest and not your chest up to your thigh. So there has to be some activity in your thigh, the back of your leg, to create an anchor point for your lift, okay? And then rolling on back down. You can bring your head all the way to the mat and shake out your neck if you need that. Okay, we talked about neck stuff. This is neck strengthening. So eyes go down, chin nods, get your front neck abs to turn on, and then curl the rest of your spine up. You can use your leg for leverage. Okay, use your leg just as much as you need it to. And then roll on down nice and slow. Okay, curl on up. If you're seated in a chair, just work on seated marches, pulling your right leg up towards your chest. Just the right leg. And then lower the leg down or lower the torso down. So you're still making this shape with your body. You're kind of like crunching up. Ooh, we don't say crunch in Pilates. You're curling up and then rolling everything up. Let's go 3 more on this right leg. Breathe nice and slow. Bring your eyes down so that you're looking almost towards your left toes when you curl up. Remember, your eyes are going to take your body where it needs to go. So wherever your eyes go, your body's going to go. Nice. That was 3 in my book. Finish up to your 3, and then we're going to go ahead and switch sides. So left leg into tabletop, grab behind your thigh. Push your thigh into your hands a little bit so you feel, oh, that's what she means by creating some tension in the back of the thigh. That's it. All right, eyes go down your cheekbones. Curl your head up off the mat. Curl your torso up off the mat. Use your leg width for a little bit of leverage, and then roll back down. Good. And if you're seated, you're working on pulling your left leg up towards your chest. Roll up and roll down. Nice. Rolling up and roll down. Awesome. Lead the motion with your eyeballs. Eyes, chin, and then torso. Yes. There you go, Susan. Eyes, chin, and then torso. Good. For contrast, look up at the ceiling and try to do that. Ugh. Right, a little bit more strain. And then look down and look towards your right toes as you curl up. Okay, just for contrast, just to see like, oh, what is she actually talking about? Oh yeah, now I feel that. I understand why that's important now. Last one. Very nice. And release out. Bend your knees so that they're both both feet are flat, but you have bent knees. It's called a hook lying position. And we're gonna do single knee drapes from here. So your right knee is gonna drape out to the side, and you may fall onto the side of your ankle, side of your foot. When you go out to the right with the right side, notice, did your left booty cheek lift off the ground? Yes or no? I didn't tell you what I wanted, just notice like what's happening. Good. And then bring your knee back to the center. And then your left leg drape out to the side. Notice, did your right booty cheek lift off the ground? Yes or no? Cool. And then bring it center. Okay, now I'm going to give you the direction for it. Your right knee is going to come out to the side, but do not let your left booty cheek off the mat. Okay, so it may mean a smaller range of motion. Also means a lot more core control. Bring the leg back to the center. Left leg drapes out to the side. Don't let your right booty cheek come off the mat. Okay, so you're going to alternate your knee drapes, knee drops from side to side. Good. Several of you will find it helpful. If you want to try it, bring your hands to right where your rib cage is, like right where the bony part or right under the rib cage or right over your belly button. Do the same motion, and through your hands, you'll be able to feel, oh, I was rotating my torso. I feel it now. Or, oh, I feel my abs working. That's kind of cool. I didn't feel it, unless I was touching. Use those self-touch strategies to help you better understand what your body is doing, right? Because in Parkinson's, especially, sometimes perception of what your body is doing is not the reality, right? We have to create a little bit more sensory input to better understand what's going on. Okay, one more time on each side. Make sure you finish on the side you didn't start with. One, yeah, there you go. And nice, and then shake it out. Have a temper tantrum by stomping your feet on the mat. Boom, 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 boom. Again, bringing a little bit more into your feet. Your brain's feeling your feet again. Okay. Arms are going to stay. Actually, let's keep the arm. Yeah, let's keep the arms where they are. Your hands right on your stomach. We're going to press ourselves into a hip bridge. So feet are flat on the ground. Again, notice where the tripod is. Try to keep those dancing toes to a minimum. Whenever you're ready, tuck your hips up into a hip bridge. All right. Stay in your hip bridge for a little sustained effort here. Take a moment to, again, feel that tripod and the energy through all of your 10 toes. Pinky toe included, toes included. Yep. Think about stretching your knees long. Love it. Your hips are high, but your ribs are not so high. Okay, so really focus the energy on getting your hip bones high, but not necessarily arching your back. Good. And then go ahead and lower down towards the mat. You can articulate or just drop, your choice. Press up into your high bridge again. Hold, settle in, find those checkpoints. Flat feet, full engagement through the feet. Knees are long, soft ribs, hips are high. And then lower down nice and slow. And let's do that again. Press up. Take a moment to go through that checklist and then roll on down. Okay, if your checklist is one thing right now, if your bandwidth in your brain is like, I can only think about one thing, Just think about your feet. Okay. When you take your brain all the way to the bottoms of your feet, you're automatically integrating everything between your brain and your feet, right? You're automatically engaging the whole body in some way. Right? So it's a good bang for your buck. Think about your feet, and then you can go into the nuance of the other checkpoints. We'll do one more bridge press, checkpoint, and then lower down nice and slow. Very nice. Good. Let's have you roll over onto your side. If you'd like to face me, go ahead and face me. I'm going to refer to things as bottom side and top side. Bottom side and top side. Both legs are going to stretch out long on the mat. Dorsiflex both feet, as in pull the tops of your feet towards your shins. I just mentioned when you think about engagement, or when you think about the connection to the very furthermost tip of your limb, everything in between your brain and that point is going to be integrated into it, okay, reflexively, like it just automatically happens, okay? So good bang for your buck. Think about activation of your endpoints, okay? Your top hand's going to a Paloma. Hi, Paloma. Just on the ground. We're going to do these little Jane Fonda leg lifts. All right, little Jane Fonda leg lifts. A little bit different than Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda was like Miss Bendy, yes, like super high up. I'm not so concerned about how high your leg can lift. I'm thinking more about length. So more length and balancing through your bottom side, okay? More about the balance on that bottom side. So if you're using your hand on the floor here, see what happens when you bring your hand to your hip. Maybe nothing happens, and that means you're a rock star. If something happened, you're still a rock star. We just need to keep your hand down and notice what needs to take, what area of your body takes responsibility for that stability that you felt like, ooh, wobble. Yeah. All right. Are we getting a little spicy in the hip? Make sure that your toes are forward. They didn't turn up. Keep it on the side of your hip. We're going to go for 3 more, 2 more, and last one. Nice job. Go ahead and bend your knees in towards your chest. We're going to push through this top arm to bring yourself up into a twisted sit. Okay, we're going to reverse it. Don't get too comfortable. The arm that's furthest away from me is going to slide out. You're going to bring your ear onto it, and then you'll bring your hand onto your hip. The exercise is the transition. Here we go. Hand presses down. Slide the hand into your twisted sit. Slide the arm out. Hand on your hip. Hand on the floor. Push up into twisted sit. Slide back out. Yeah. Beautiful. Nice. Now, can you do that without the trailing arm? Can you just do it with the hand that's pressing down in front? And then you just plant it kind of last minute. Oh, some tricep work. Lift up. And then once you're there, you can plant the hand. Lift up, slide out, and lower down. Okay, let's go through that just maybe 3 or 4 more times. Some of us getting the hang of it. Ooh. If that's not for you today, you still slide that arm in. You're still working on the same thing, right? I'm gonna do one more time. Push. And all the way down. Nice job. From here, you're going to keep your knees in. Reach your arm up and around so that your back is flat on the ground. We're not doing that juicy pinwheel stretch. Don't get too comfy. Squeeze the thighs together. We're going to pull the knees in towards your chest and roll your knees away from me. Still trying to keep your shoulders on the ground. Here we go. Pull those knees up into your chest. Roll them over to the other side. Pull the knees into your chest. Roll them over to the other side. Now, the hard part about this is keeping your knees married, connected, right? Squeeze the thighs together. That midline connection is going to help you with that oblique. Yep, up and over. Beautiful. The more you get used to this, you're like, okay, Steph, what's the next challenge? Your thighs are going to go less into your chest. So before I was saying pull your knees into your chest and up and over, they're going to stay a little bit further away and kind of cross over the top of your hip. That makes it a little bit harder, right? Because the knees, the weight of your legs are a little further away from you. You don't have as much leverage. Take the hot exhale, that blowing out your mouth. Yeah, last two. And one more time. Face me, so roll all the way over. Your knees are gonna come towards me, and then roll onto your side. Press up into your twisted sit. Lock yourself up. We're gonna swing those legs around so that we're gonna do that whole sequence on the other side, and you can still face me, okay? We're gonna start laying down on the mat. Legs out long, make a pillow with your bottom arm, grab a real pillow. See if I can stay in the frame here. That top hand on the floor is gonna be your support system. Otherwise, lift your waist on the bottom side. We're gonna go up and down through that top leg for your Jane Fonda. Good, both legs are straight underneath you. Yep, makes it a little harder, right? Bending that bottom knee is gonna make it easier to stabilize. Straightening is gonna make it a little bit harder. Take that information as you need it. Okay, so if you need more stability, bend your knee. If you want more challenge, straighten the knee. Yep. Hand on your hip as well. We decrease the amount of points of contact on the ground. That makes it a little bit harder. You really got to work on the edges of your foot on this one. We talked about foot strength. Yeah. Nice. We'll go for about 5 more. Keeping those toes forward. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Bend the knees in. Push down through that top hand to help you come into your twisted sit. Good. Slide the arm that's furthest away from me. Back out. You're going to lay your head on it. Push through your top hand. Slide the other arm in. Press up. Nice. And then sliding out. And then you know the drill. If you want to make it harder, if you need it to be harder for you today, push through the top arm. Try to lift and come up that way. Lift and reach out. Notice how much harder it gets when you have less limbs helping you on the ground, but that just means that the limbs that are, or the things that are still touching the ground have to work a little bit harder, including your arm, including your bottom knee. Your bottom knee presses down into the mat. Yep. Awesome. Push up and twisted sit. Good. We're going to do that 2 more times. 2 more times. Pick your poison. Hand support, no hand support. Pushing your knee into the ground. Yep. Last one. And all the way out on to your side. Keep your knees in towards your chest. We're going to rotate open, chest open to the ceiling. We're going to do, they're called windshield wipers. The ones we did last time. Press down through the arms. Your little outriggers. Keep the knees married and connected. Let them pull up towards your chest and over to the other side. Good. Up towards your chest and over to the other side. Yeah, for those of you with a bit more like keen awareness, this cue might land. If you think about the bottom knee bossing around the top knee, so the bottom knee is going to lift the top knee. And then you get to the other side and it switch roles, right? Bottom knee pushes up on the top knee. Okay, we talked about inner thigh work, midline connection. So inner thigh is pushing up. Yep. Inner thigh is pushing up. Good. Let's go for 2 more there. And last one. Lovely. We're going to roll all the way onto your front. You can kind of take that momentum, roll all the way into the front. You can slide your legs out, unstuck the elbow that sometimes gets stuck in there, and then we're going to come onto your elbows. Awesome. So you're on your belly. We're going to finish up with tummy time, and then we'll do that post-class assessment. Tummy time, tummy time. All right. We have our arms out in front of us. So you think about babies when they first start doing tummy time, they're kind of like helpless here, and they're just like working on like building their neck strength enough so that they can look around the room. So you're going to start with your ear down on the mat. Yep. Press through the forearms and your elbows to help you get a little lift in your chest. Find the extension in your upper back. You're going to look around the room. So looking up to the wall in front of you, over to the other side, and then lower your ear down to the mat. Okay. Again, we press through the hands to give you a little float in the chest. Eyes come around and drop down. Some neck mobility, some upper back mobility, some shoulder mobility for sure. Definitely some vestibular stuff going on. Like as you're sort of scanning the room around, if you were a little baby, you'd be like, okay, what's interesting? What's interesting? I'm looking up what's interesting. What's going to catch my eye? Yep, let's go one more time on each side. Pushing down and moving around. Love it. Good. From here, hands come underneath your chest. Here's the kicker. Big push back, hips over heels into sort of like a child's pose, hips over heels. Oh, that's a big push. One time. That's all we're going to do. One time. There you go, Janet. Nice. Keep going, girl. Exhale. Find that big, powerful exhale. It's going to blow you up. I mean, not blow you up like explode, but blow. Push you back. Take a moment to breathe into that back body. Let your belly hang between your thighs. Then you can sway if that feels right for you. We're going to make our way up onto our feet again. I'm going to give you a suggested pathway for that, but if you have your own way of doing it, feel free to do that. I'm going to take us into a deep squat and then a stand. Okay, so right here, we're going to rock forward into hands and knees. We're going to tuck the toes underneath. Oops, little stretch there. Hips are going to sit back over heels. Kenlin's going to have PTSD flashback from backpacking in the woods. Deep squat. Deep squat. Roll yourself through. Your heels may not be touching. That's okay. If you need to hold on to something, grab a chair, grab anything, or unravel yourself, crawl over to the thing that's going to help you, and then come up. Yeah. You can either keep your hands on the ground and do your push like we did earlier, or hands to heart, midline connection with the prayer, drive up to stand. Okay. Cool. Let yourself get calibrated. I know that can be dizzying. Let your blood rush get back to where it needs to go. Great. Go ahead and walk around the room. See how you feel. Walk around the room. Take your eyes up. Scan the horizon-ish, you know, whatever that horizon is. And it's just your bookshelf. Look out the window. Yeah. And then come to the center of your mat. And either eyes closed or not, notice where your weight shift bias is. Is it forward on the toes, back on your heels? Is it on the outsides of your feet, the insides of your feet? Notice the tension in your shoulders, the tension in your knees, how your pelvis is sitting on top of those sticks called your femurs. Nice. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms up. Big stretch north and up to the side. Excellent job, team. I'd love to hear how that went. Did you feel the Michael Jackson lean, or were you still back on your heels? I'm going to stop the recording and you can unmute yourself